What is up, peeps? Coach Kev here. It's been a little while since I've been able to come on and do a live. Got a lot of stuff going on locally here with politics and school board stuff like that. And guys retiring, getting ready for that. Just a whole lot. Good stuff, though. Fun stuff. So before I dive in here, I'll let some people come in the room and tell me how everyone's been. Our weather has been cold, like even for Pittsburgh, like Memorial Day. I think the high was maybe 68 degrees, and usually we're around 80 or so or something like that. But it's at the end of the day, it is what it is. We've had some rain, a lot of it recently. So things are drying up the last couple of days, is warming up a little bit. Tomorrow I have a golf outing to go to for the mayor. Our PAC committee does that. So I'm going with three other firemen, and they're all cool, if you know what I mean. And Friday night, we have a party for one of the guys, surprise party, one of the guys who's retiring, my buddy TJ, who I mentioned on my porch video. If you watched it this morning, been there over 40 years. Great guy. I mean, just a great guy. Broke the mold when they made him. In his old age, he kind of looks like Corrado Soprano now. If you could picture Uncle Junior, but a little shorter and a little stout, more stout. Saturday, Brooke got tickets to go to a country concert. Never been to a country concert, but Chris Stapleton and George Strait in Heinz Field. Well, whatever they call it now, it's Heinz Field to us Yinzers, no matter what they sell the name to. So Chris Stapleton and George Strait. We're going down early, tailgate party. Even got like a little charcoal grill, so that should be fun. Sunday we're gonna have the kids over. We're gonna attempt chicken on a stick recipe, but not on a stick. We're gonna use chicken thighs, like a lot of chicken on a stick thing. But Brooke found a marinating recipe to cook it, so we're gonna give it a try. Cook it on a grill, and it'll just be chicken thighs. But we've been eating them recently, and they're cheap. And like I said, I like the meat a little bit too. It's pretty good. So. School board stuff. I'll say hi to everyone in a minute here. School board stuff, as you know, if you Google McKeesport Area School District and Dick's Foundation left the school district. Some things happened. A lot of it's pointing toward the board president and things that he did. And remember, I won Democratic nomination in May. I still have to win in November. I don't know if you guys are friends with me on Facebook, but I posted a video yesterday on, going to the meeting and what we'll do. So I'll try to have some video of that. I'll give you the link. That'll be next Wednesday. So I'll be at a meeting. I only get 3 minutes to talk, but I plan to pack as much in as I can. And I don't want to get nasty. Like the other side has gotten nasty quite a few times. I think I have too many good ideas. I have too much to talk about positive to get nasty, but I will keep it real. So that should be good. But it's good to see the whole community's in an uproar over this. They had pledged $5 million a year for 99 years. That's $500 million. They gave kids food. They paid staff. They did so much stuff. So whatever happened at the end of the day was a personality conflict. And if you're on a school board, you got to be better than that. You have to get past the bullshit. People elect you to get past the bullshit. If you're not getting past the bullshit and you're doing things that are deliberately sabotaging things or things like that, there is a path for that, and several citizens of this community are taking that path. And I think eventually it's going to have in front of a judge, which is sad. But it's never happened that I've known of before, but it's pretty bad. So we'll try to get in there and get shit done, like I always do, if I can. But I'm confident that I can, at least get some people to think my way and at least come to the table. Quit acting like fucking 12-year-old kids and come to the table. So hopefully that's what happens. But we'll go from there. Well, let's say hi to everybody. Tonight on old Rex Heuermann here, I have a ton of slides, some articles to show you. So I think tonight's show, we're going to kind of go that route. Sometimes I do pictures and put them in the background and stuff like that. But I'll answer as many questions as I can. Documentary on Netflix, and I didn't write the name down. I watched so many. I think it's two is called Gone Girls. But if you go to Netflix and search Gone Girls, I'm sure the documentary will come up. I think it's out from this year, 2025. Again, I've seen so many. It's pretty good. Information-wise, there isn't any new information for me, but I've kind of dove into this case quite a bit. but there was a lot of interviews from people that I've never heard speak before, family members of the victims and things like that. So that was really good. Frank, I will be Frank. What is up? Good to see you, Jinx, as always. Getting it done. Hi, Jill. How are you? There you go. See through. Good to see you. Hopefully everybody's doing good tonight. Hopefully the weather's cooperating. I seen on my phone here a little while ago that max velocity had some alert that came up, but not around here anyway. Kind of quiet around here now. I haven't even looked at the weather for golf tomorrow. Hopefully it's okay. Good to see you, Olivia. Teddy. Everybody say, hey, Ruckus. Good to see you. Hope all is well with you. Get your comment up here if my, there we go. Thing wants to work. Yeah. Love to hear your take on Heuermann sometime, Ruckus, or how much you know about the case. But this is a sexually sadistic Heuermann. We're not assuming his guilt, right? It looks really bad, but we're not going to assume his guilt. But these crimes were certainly done by a sexual sadistic killer. And remember, guys, terms, stuff that I really just started learning the last couple of years. Sadistic means you want to inflict pain on others. If you're a masochist, you're putting it on yourself. Quite a combo. That would be a cool show. Dogs and Teddy. How about that? Dogs and Teddy. Aurora, good to see you. Just going to say hi to everybody, and then we will get to the show and show you some things that basically what I'm showing you tonight are things that piqued my eye or got my interest when I was looking at this case. From initially, whenever, even before Heuermann was arrested. Now, when Heuermann was arrested, things picked up. But, I'm a big Jim Clemente fan. 2010, Jim Clemente laid out a profile where he thinks, he laid things out. And not always, but a lot of times. And this was pretty close to being dead on. There was a couple other people. John Kelly, who you guys know I like, has a YouTube show, does great work. He was interviewed also. Doesn't matter. I'm just curious to know. Jim Clemente in his profile said whoever did this, there's a chance that they visited a hospital for poison ivy, like their poison ivy was that bad. Obviously the bodies were found in thickets and things like that. And you could surmise, well, there's going to be poison ivy there. That's something you can look up. That's a searchable thing. You could talk to people. Hey, if someone's in these weeds, they come out with any kind of, is there anything in there that's kind of going to prove they were in there or could lead them to have to go somewhere to treat it or buy something for it. And this is everything that's looked at in these cases. And it's fascinating to me. But I just wonder if we'll ever know did Rex Heuermann have poison ivy? I still haven't heard Jim Clemente for my ears explain exactly what he said when he said this poison ivy. So Jim, where does this poison ivy thing come from? Well, I thought, someone would be deep in here. At that point that I knew of, there wasn't any hairs or anything like that where he could say, oh, this is a redheaded guy. He's a fair-skinned guy. Maybe he's more susceptible to poison ivy or whatever, So I don't know that. But one of his things in the profile was the person was treated, probably had to seek medical attention for poison ivy. This was 2010. What's up, Shane? What's up, Luis? How you doing? Don't dox me. Alrighty. I think I said hi to everybody. We can get on with some slides here. And I have some pretty wild things that I want to show you. Whoops. Sorry. We have a new app on our phone. That's a fire call. We have a new app on our phone, and I don't know how to turn it off. That's just the landing zone. We get landing zones. We're right near a hospital, and a lot of times they'll fly people, and it's not like what you would think, like shootings or car wrecks. All that happens too. I've seen helicopters land in the middle of a road. The worst I've ever seen is that flight crew actually got out of the helicopter and helped us cut a girl out of the car. It was after a Steeler playoff game. She had a lot to drink. We had to take the roof. We had to roll the dash, everything. Like everything they teach you in class. Like you might have to do one of these. We had to do everything. And I remember the flight nurse being in the back seat, immobilizing C-spine. But anyways, that's all that was. So We get a lot of them a year. That's UPMC, University of Pittsburgh Medical Center. I think that the Pacer game was starting at 8 or 8:30. So if anybody is into that, I'm sure I'll give you scores as I can. I don't expect to see probably Frank Meister or any other big hoop fans in here tonight. So yeah, but just like we've seen the evidence, right? You know, the evidence is overwhelming. Some other cases that we've looked at, the evidence is looks like there's good evidence and there's this and that, but like this is like it's really overwhelming. But you know, just dealing with anyone you dealt with, Ruck, maybe one day, you know, in your prison time, and you mentioned being near death row people and serial killers and stuff like that. Just, you know, anything. All that stuff interests me a ton. Yeah. So the Golden State Killer and Lisk, I think it was two different things. Golden State Killer happened a long time ago. And they say killers don't stop killing. They do. They age out. Gary D'Angelo showed us that they age out, right? And he did that. And he was still in really good shape because you saw him in prison videos when he was in there. He was all, you know, balled up. That's what we would say. He's all balled up in a little chair in the courtroom. And then they show the idiot in his prison jumping off his bed and everything else. You're on video, you idiot. You know, it makes you wonder how you get away with it for so long. I think in the Golden State Killer, first of all, you had multiple serial killers operating in the state of California overlap. Remember what the Golden State Killer was called first. He was called the original Night Stalker. So this is Richard Ramirez, right? The biggest, scariest, not his size, but just like absolutely insane, would kill anyone, use different means, you know, assaulted people, did all kind of absolutely wild and crazy and violent, grotesque shit. And then you had the East Area Rapist. So what they would call him was early ons, the East Area Rapist, original Night Stalker, year ons. There's what I don't know what I said the first time, but it's crazy. What's up, CJK? Good to see you. This case, Long Island serial killer. You want to talk about police corruption? I don't know if there certainly was corruption here because people went to prison. It was bullheadedness and it was stupidity. And then you had it, you know, Harrison come in, and you have some of these other guys, you know, tyranny and this come in. And we won't get into Jimmy Burke, not the Jimmy Burke from Goodfellas. The Jimmy Burke from Goodfellas probably was more of a straight shooter and more of a better human being. I know things that he did than the guy for Jimmy Burke. He was the guy, he had a bag in his car. It was an unmarked police car. Someone stole the bag. In the bag, he had guns, drugs, and sex toys. So this guy finds the shit. They find out who stole it. They take him. They beat the shit out of him in the station. You know, you're talking like 2000 and would be 13, 14 or something like that. But another article I'm going to talk about, I'm going to show you about another girl, Karen Vergata, who has not been charged to Heuermann yet. But so it's kind of two different things. So they didn't want to share information back then. They probably would have caught the Zodiac. I'll tell you this. They certainly would have caught the Zodiac if it happened today. So we don't know how many serial killers are operating. You know, here John Douglas might tell you 25 to 50. People will tell you lower, higher numbers. Well, the thing is, we don't know. We don't know. Police might have ideas. You hear about this and that. With the New England thing, I'm looking into. I don't know about that. I mentioned it before. There is bodies showing up, and you have to look at it. But it's odd. But with technology now and how everyone communicates, and you can run a name, and boom, it's through a system. Remember, it wasn't like that before. Remember, one of the police officers pulled Richard Ramirez over. And they would have had a handprint on his car. He heard the call on the radio, boof, he takes off and runs it and gets away and ends up killing other people there. But, oh, cool. Yeah. This is, if you're into like the Mindhunter thing, is which what brought me into everything, right? That's, you know, coming to YouTube and finding videos brought me into everything. Then that led to everything, you know, Delphi, Flora. I'm making trips to Indiana. I'm walking across, you know, meeting great people. But that was the genesis of all this for me. So it intrigues me, and it scares me too, that there's people like this. And the crazy thing is, it's always the people that, you know, you don't think. That's how you get away with it. If it's somebody, Richard Ramirez, I don't know how he got away with it, because if you'd have seen that guy, you'd have been like, holy shit. This is a scary motherfucker. I don't know what he's going to do or anything like that. And I hate to prejudge people, but you could smell his breath for a block before you get him. You know what I mean? But before you see him. But you could see, he thrived on that, being scary and stuff like that. Ron Logan, how are you? I sit my teeth down somewhere. Oh man. Well, you don't have to talk at least, Ron. We won't make you say any THs or anything. You could just type in and listen. Try to put your teeth in the same place every time. When I lose shit, I try to say, I want to put my keys here every time. Then if they're not there, I could bitch. Who moved my keys? God, like Gibbo Dungeon. A guy I work with, actually. I have a dungeon like that. The drugs would only be marijuana, though. It wouldn't be anything crazy. All right. Well, let me show you a couple things here. So let me bring up my email to the stage, as I do many times on this highly technologically advanced show. So here's the first thing I want to show you is the timeout dolls. We've talked about these before, right? So we'll get you to it here. All right, here we go. Wanted to make sure you're seeing what I was seeing. So timeout dolls, I never knew what they were. There's like apparently an industry form. It's like a little niche thing, I guess, where people like dolls, and the dolls are always made to face a corner. They've been bad. They're being disciplined. So this is one at Megan Waterman's site, and there's multiple of these dolls. And again, when these things happen, I don't know if the police believed that this was a serial killer, really didn't believe it, or what the case was. And it's impossible to sit out on a location like this 24/7, 365 till someone shows up, right? But if the police would have taken this seriously, would they have had somebody doing some kind of reconnaissance in that area to see if anyone shows up at night and does anything to the memorial? Because we know that once we can attach this to a series, these are a series or a serial killer, that there's a good chance that they're going to come back by the profile that's been developed. I mean, the profilers were probably telling them, listen, this guy's coming. This guy's going to come back. He's going to come back to relive, to do this. And in this point, in my opinion, taunt the family. He also calls and taunts the families sometimes on the deceased cell phones. Told one family, oh, she's not dead. I seen her at a whorehouse in Harlem, and I'll call you back with the number, and never called him back because he knew mom was probably sitting waiting by the phone. And he knew when he talked to the other girl's sister what that would be like. So people that perpetrate crimes on people and then reach out to their families and continue the harassment and to terrorize them, those are sadistic people. Those are some of the worst people. Those are the people that are going to torture. Rex Heuermann, believed to have kept women in his house, tortured them. So with people like, let's say, Ted Bundy, right? Killing a girl was I had to do this because I want to control her body and I want to do whatever I want to with it. And I want to be in control like that. Rex Heuermann killing might even have brought him down a little bit. I've done all I can do with this thing, because it's not a person to them. It's a thing. And he's looking at it like that. And so he enjoyed all that time. He enjoyed every inch and every second of pain that he inflicted on these poor girls. Remember, most of these girls are small in stature. Heuermann's 6'5", 6'6". He's an ogre. He was described as an ogre to police that was driving a green Chevy Avalanche several years before. He was literally described as an ogre by one of the girls' bodyguards or whatever you would want to say. These are left there, right? And that there's things stuffed in her mouth. What does that mean? Again, and if you look, what I should have probably done is put pictures up of the girls, but the dolls are made to look like the girls. You understand? The dolls are made to look like the girls. That one's on its knees. And the first picture here, let me get back to it. There were some web searches and things like that. And I'm going to show you some of that stuff. But This is taken off Heuermann's computer. Remember, Rex Heuermann is an architect. This is one thing that fucks me up about Rex Heuermann. Rex Heuermann was fastidious, as John Douglas says, fastidious, which means BTK was like that. Dressed perfect, iron perfect, car clean, all this stuff. BTK house clean. Rex Heuermann house looked like the house from Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, right? If you're my age and you know what a great Christmas hit that is, that's what his house looked like. Ramshackle as ramshackle can be. And he had this money. It was worth between $1 and $3 million on some accounts. I mean, he worked in Manhattan. He was a fixer, right? He wouldn't necessarily draw plans up for things, although he did that. But he knew for the permits, okay, how New York City worked. I have to go here, I have to go here, I have to go here. Was there a little grease? And I'm sure there was, right? It might not have been $1 million a pad. It could have been lunches. It could have been invitations to parties with other high-ranking members of society, police, councilmen, that they had at Gilgo Beach, because we know that there was multiple people that had these parties. Remember the doctor I showed you that faked a heart attack. Anyways, those were the timeout dolls. Now, here's what I want to show you before we get into it. A little more on Heuermann. This is Peaches. So make sure we get up to the right. Okay. I'll come in here for comments in a second. I just want to show you. So this is Peaches. Peaches was identified recently, Tanya Jackson. She was identified as Peaches because, unfortunately, Tanya was found in a couple different places. And she had a tattoo of like a little thing of peaches. She was served time, as you could see, in the military. Peaches was found in a couple of different places, unfortunately, identified. She's been identified. And unfortunately, she did have a baby girl, too, who was identified. As you see the case, torso was discovered. If you could read this here, no leads, police published a photo. Tattoo artist Connecticut named Steve Cullen claimed he remembered. So this is how they kind of get to this, that the tattoo artist kind of remembered that. In December 2016 was confirmed that the case was connected to Long Island serial killer. Tanya was the mother of Tatiana, whose skeletal remains were found near Cedar Beach in 2011. Extremely sad situation. There's the Peaches tattoo. These are the items that were found, the jewelry, things like that. So, but she has been identified. There's still an unidentified Asian male. And he was small in stature. So it makes me think that maybe he was an Asian male that was advertising maybe as a woman. In one of Rex Heuermann's searches, he looks up Asian twink. And from what I understand, twink means maybe a young gay guy that's not hairy or something to that effect. But these are the things he's looking up. So I might have that last part all fucked up. That's, whatever, people want to do. Not my thing, and it's really not my lingo. So hopefully we could all understand that. All right. Anybody got anything on that? Send Snay a doll. Well, free country, do what he wants with his channel. He has a lot of loyal listeners. I watched him every live. I haven't for a while. He just not my content type of that I want to see, but I don't think he would take it well if anyone did that. Just a guess. The Holly Voodoo doll. It's kind of wild with the YouTube world. Everybody everything kind of comes around. You know what I mean? Like everybody comes back around this one or that one. There's a few people that remained out. On their North Poles, their respective poles and stuff like that. But there's been people that have threatened to drive cross country to kill somebody, and those guys are friends now. So hey, anything can happen. Yeah, it's another very interesting thing, Shane, with him. So wife would go on trips, Asa, back to Iceland, different places. They'd go to Maryland, Virginia, quite a few places. I remember she had a special needs son before she met Rex. Rex meets her, takes over the as a father to the child. Then they have a daughter later on, which we'll talk about in the one John Ray press conference. And I'm not really sure how I feel about that, but I like John Ray tremendously. Yes, definitely premeditated. This guy was 100% a organized serial killer, without question. Yeah, they were able to get Peach's identity and the identity of the child. Now, people say, what do you think happened? Well, I think that maybe she came out there to do whatever and do some work, and maybe she had to bring her child with her. She didn't see any other way. That enraged him. Something happened. But from what I can understand, he just left the child out there. He didn't, I don't want to say he was a coward, but he just left. He left the child there. And the child, from what I could tell, succumbed to the elements. And, yeah. Putting in cans of soup. Well, just make sure you remember to can. Or shake it. That's all right, Ron. Hey, Miranda. Good to see you. Bleach cocktails, huh? Shane's a twink. I'm not quite sure what that word means, but I'm going to. The relevance in this show is coming up, so you just have to stay tuned. Uh-oh. That Aspen boy just rolled up in his tour bus. Well, Aspen would make a good house guest for a month. Probably cleans up after himself. Maybe you can do a little cooking for you, Ron. He could help you find your teeth. I can tell you that. Aspen's a pretty bright guy. But the Aspen tour bus is rolled up. That sounds like that would be a good time to be on the Aspen tour bus. I think it would be a lot of positive people. Oh, that's okay, Miranda. Good luck at bingo. Aspen on tour. Who would he be on tour with? Could be a good tour. Or maybe each city he hooks up with a different person from that city and they do a show. I'd be into it. Okay. Let me show you some more of my slides that I got. So I want to show you, if I can find it, hopefully correctly. Yes, the John Ray. So this is some of the John Ray stuff. This is from the Sun. The Sun's maybe not the most reliable newspaper ever, but this all really happened. This is verifiable in many places. So John Ray was getting calls from who he believes was Rex Heuermann, saying different things to him for months that ended a week before the suspect Heuermann's arrest. Obviously, he hasn't gotten any calls since his arrest. At least he has not reported that. There's John Ray with some of the victim families. So John Ray is an old school attorney. Always wears cool hats. He's a wordsmith. He's a really good attorney. He makes some claims against Rex Heuermann's wife and daughter that I'm not sure about at a press conference, and I'm going to show you an article on that. And one of the things that gives me tremendous creed, I give tremendous creed to that press conference because Dr. Gary Bricado is there. Dr. Gary Bricado, the world-renowned, I guess you would call him a maybe a criminal psychologist or a profiler. You know, he worked with Dr. Ann Burgess, who was there to start with John Douglas and Robert Ressler. Pictures, but I just want to show you a portion of this here. So when this article was written, still Jane Doe 3, 10-month-old daughter. We know who they are now, Peaches and her daughter. Each of the calls was connected in some way. He continued and often followed the same pattern. The same language is used. The same tape recordings are used. It's the eerie voices, crazy sounds that are used in every one of those calls. They play news reports from the Shannon Gilbert case from sometime around 2011 and make noises in the background at the same time. So he has a tape and he's playing tapes about the Shannon Gilbert case. These are on phone calls to attorney John Ray. The kind of the creepiest one here is one time they called us. I just got home at 9 o'clock and we were eating a late dinner, and the phone rang, said, "Hope you enjoyed dinner." Then the person said a few seconds later, "I hope you enjoy your pizza." So John Ray grabbed a pizza that night, or pizza comes to them, actually. Hold on a second. Yeah, within seconds, the doorbell rang. We live up in a dark area on the hill, and there was a guy delivering 3 pizzas. We didn't order the pizzas. We called Pizza Hut where we're coming from. We called the police. Pizza Hut person took the order, said it was a woman with a man in the background pretending to choose toppings that had made the call. So who made the call? Could it have been one of the girls? I think it's a working girl. I don't know about the theory that he has with his daughter, and especially his daughter, but his wife kind of knowing his daughter being an accomplice. But so again, he's sadistic. He's reaching out. He's doing this to scare. He's getting off on this. And John Ray's probably pissing him off, right? Because John Ray is pounding the drum for these victims. Here's another pretty wild article in this case. And, we talked about, police and, different things that happened. Make sure we're good. Yeah. So please, this is something that this is an older article, 2023. And I've heard rumblings of something like this before, but I never knew the exact situation. But John Ray, again, kind of on the cutting edge of this jaw-dropping claim, even took the Suffolk County DA by surprise. John Ray appeared with Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison. Rodney Harrison is since out of there. There they are on the right. He was doing a great job. Now a guy named Tierney's running the investigation. He said he had 4 witnesses that tied Heuermann and 2 other victims to the Gilgo investigation. He was a serial user of sex workers. John Ray said they would sometimes come to his house, sometimes 2 at a time. So we know that Heuermann was doing quite a bit of getting girls on Craigslist and different things like that with burner phones. First witness made a claim that Heuermann belonged to a swingers club, La Trapeze, which was in Midtown Manhattan, not far from where Heuermann worked as an architect. Witness says Heuermann had posted on a wall at La Trapeze 27 years ago asking for a sexual encounter at his Massapequa Park home. The woman said that her and her boyfriend, and then a New York City detective, referred to in a sworn affidavit as RW. February 96, RW picked up a woman that she believed to be Karen Vergata in New York City on the way to Heuermann's house. The alleged witness says she was hungry and homeless. Karen Vergata's body was found later. She was known Jane Doe number 7, or sometimes Fire Island Jane Doe. And you see, discovered in Tobay Beach. So there's a witness that says a cop picked her up to take her to Rex Heuermann's house. So the theory that Jimmy Burke, the former police chief, and Rex Heuermann were partying together and doing these things together is not a far off theory at all. I mean, there's witnesses to this. So who knows? Hopefully this ends up coming out once and for all eventually. And here's a good People article about it. Hopefully they don't kick me off for reading it too many times. And this here is good because this is going to show us, here we go. Netflix true crime series, Gone Girls, Long Island serial killer. It came out March 31st. Definitely check that out if you get a chance. Really good. If you've covered the case quite a bit, there's probably not any new information, but they do a really thorough job, and you hear a lot from the families about it all. Over 10 years, no arrests are made. Now, here's the thing. They started discovering bodies in 2010. Rex Heuermann's going to go back to 1993, maybe before. So he was killing girls for probably just under 30 years. And he was still actively pursuing other girls online. So he was not done yet. There may be murders that he committed that the police don't even know. They haven't found the body yet. There could be more that come up. A little bit behind him, clients included Target, American Airlines, and Foot Locker. And here's going to be the charges. So in July, Heuermann was arrested, charged with the murders of Miss Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, Amber Costello. 6 months later, he was charged with the murder of Maureen Brainerd Barnes, the women known as the Gilgo Beach Four. Since then, he's been charged with 3 others, as you'll see: Sandra Castilla. Then in December, Valerie Mack. So there's 7 total that he is charged with right now. Talk about the burner phones. But a hearing was scheduled. So this trial is probably not going to happen for quite some time. I think that he's going to go to trial because I think he likes the attention. He's one of them guys that don't want to stand up there and think that he could control things, so to speak. That's basically the gist of that. I wanted to show you that to show you the charges. But there's 7 total now. We'll check out our little screenshots we got here I'll show you these 2, and I'll hop back and see if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns as soon as it loads. So Rex Heuermann's brother, right? We heard some about his brother. His brother actually killed a police officer in a car wreck. He was all coked up. And the crazy thing about this is a picture from it. The article is really hard to read. But he kind of got out of it with hardly any kind of charges. So there's no kind of explanation how that worked. This was an off-duty police officer or undercover. It wasn't a regular police car. There's his daughter that we're going to talk about here in a moment. And usually, I want to show people's children and stuff like that. But she becomes really pertinent to kind of what's happening here when we get to this John Ray interview. Sorry. Let me just see where I have that at. Okay. Pop into these 2. Okay, there's Pack. Mr. Pack was the driver for Shannon Gilbert. He talks about, and he left her out there. He chased her for a while. She was going crazy. Without getting too in depth into her case, I wanted to show you a picture of him, and I just don't know how they couldn't get more information out of him. How much did he know? Where were they going? That type of thing. There's his mother, Dolores Heuermann, and I just wanted to, put that in your mind because what do you guys think? A lot of these girls look like Dolores Heuermann. Let's see what everybody's saying. Boston Christian, good to see you. Yeah, they're catching a ton of people now with that with just stuff that they put away. Thankfully somebody was like, "Hey, let's put this away," and who knows what will happen. And as technology gets on, keeping the case. I think his niece Shannon was a vic of a pimp and boyfriend. They were mad with her. Well, yeah, it seems like maybe the family split because there appear to be people that support him. Huh. Well, it's sad about her mother. Her mother ended up losing her life to Shannon's sister, actually. There's some things going on. It's just a sad situation all around. Ron Logan walked in a blue moose. Saw Doug Carter with his wife Lily was eating a giant tenderloin. Nice. Oh, cool. Cool. Very cool. Voluntarily. Oh, good. Uh-oh. Is Doug Carter married or not? Donkey Show. I know a couple YouTubers who'd be pretty good in a donkey show. Yeah, I think that I've said this a long time ago, and other people much smarter than me have said it, and I just agree with them, pass it on to you. I think his number is going to be charged with 7. I mean, I don't know if there's ever going to be charges for him all, but he is he's going to be prodigious, unfortunately. Yeah, I did. I thought so too. I thought so too. Well, we're talking Netflix stuff, and it's totally doesn't have anything to do with this case. But one of to me, the best O.J. Simpson documentary I ever saw was done by ESPN, but it's on Netflix now. It's called O.J. Made in America, and it's a 4 or 5 part series, and it gets in depth, and it goes back and it talks about how O.J. grew up, and he was there at the time of Watts riots and things, and it's all important. Every bit of it's important. It talks about Nicole and how she grew up, and every bit of it's important. But OJ hated women, it's my opinion. The documentary doesn't ever come out and say this, but OJ hated women because his dad was gay. And he blamed his dad being gay on women, but not his mom. Not his mom, but women. So he kind of hated women, so to speak. I think you'd say, hey, OJ loved women. Without question, he was a womanizer, but anyways, if you get an opportunity, if you're into that, check it out. It's to me, it's the best one, even better than the new one that Netflix did. But it's I think from 2016. Jinx signing up for 5 months. Jeez, I guess I didn't turn this off. I thought I did. So probably I'm going to shoot for Monday, possibly Tuesday. Scott Street and Oak Street. Possible commercial fire. Smoke everywhere. Abandoned house on fire, maybe. Oof, Madone. That would be a little further off the beaten path from the working arsonist we have up on the hill. I'll get more tea on that. Daughter certainly is strange. I thought I had this. I have it turned all the way off on the alert. Let me see the update on this real fast. The caller is not on scene. So hopefully they're wrong. Someone's calling. It's not on scene saying that the house is on fire. It's the port. Anything can happen. Yeah, she's very off-putting, I guess you would say. But I don't know if anything there is Jinx. You're too much. Thank you, Jinx. Our membership, or I don't have huge like 150, 200,000 people chats or not like that. But when we do the group, the little member chats, there might be like 10 or 12 people, and it's really cool. So I'll promise to get you one this week. I told you this weekend's pretty bad. Not bad, but I have a lot going on. But I'm on vacation Saturday, so I go back to work Wednesday. So Monday or Tuesday, for sure. Monday night, I have a union meeting I have to go to, but all this is in my head. All this is in my head right now. Mustang has a couple of jackasses that she could show. Ooh. Parks his bus. Yeah, good. Parks his tour bus in there, and that's Aspen. A fine person, Aspen. Great guy. Thank you, Jinx. Yeah, I will get something up over the weekend here, and we'll vote on what to talk about in the next thing. Gimmo got a membership. I wonder if any lurkers, anyone lurking that got one? We've signed you up for the United States Army, Gimmo. Congratulations. We're going to station you in Beech Grove, Indiana. Thank you, Miranda. Appreciate it. Okay. If I could quote Dr. Dre. Hey, what is up? The great Grismatically Clever. Great to see you. Drunk with power. What spot on the floor do you play, Riz? I was a 4 or 5, and 4 or 5s or 4 or 5s. We weren't allowed to dribble or shoot the ball. Yeah, Indiana, huh? Hmm. Belfast, Indiana. There's some wild names. I don't know if they're there. If there's one there. But anyways, a couple more things to show you here. Uh, and again, whenever this is what I do. So like what starting really with like the original serial killer stuff, then the Delphi stuff. I would just have like catalogs and catalogs and stuff. When I would have time, I would just put them into different things, this theory, that theory. So I have a lot of these things stored up, and this is basically me just going through and looking and doing research on things and things that I think are pertinent and interesting and things that I wanted to show you guys. I thought that I brought in a couple of those pictures from the press conference, the John Ray presser. John Ray presser, I've shared it before. I could share it again. It's about an hour and a half long. It's from last summer. So here's some of the things that's found. This is found on Rex Heuermann's computer. He had basically had programs where he lists things out. You know what I mean? And this is how he's into wash body inside and out, all cavity, remove trace evidence. So he actually wrote this down. What he planned to do with it ever, if it's just to remind him, or if this was his process, right? Maybe this is his process. This is how he works as an architect or getting things done, and he has this, puts everything down, things like that, props, toys, wood items. So anything he touched, you're innocent until proven guilty for sure. But I mean, holy shit, man, you know what I mean? Talk about that. T1 clause, personal items, kind of what I showed you before. Yeah, I don't know how to turn this off, but I'm going to guess this is a good call. And that's why we keep getting banged out here. We'll see. Good crew working today to get it taken care of. Gilgo Beach Killer, Criminal Minds. These are the things he's searching for. He's searching for the victim. Now, John Bittroff was another killer who was operating probably overlapping times with Heuermann, along with Joel Rifkin. Now, Joel Rifkin might have been at the end of his thing. So I don't know if there was overlap, but you probably had 3 people working. But Bittroff was a guy. He had another name. I can't remember the name of the town, Stone something or other. But this is on Heuermann's computer. The charges, we like to look at, court data and things like that. So this was the charges, and I think this was, if you go back further a little bit in the day, because he was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so there was one more that was added. That was Brainerd Barnes later on, or earlier this year. Later on from there, different things he's looking at, problems. So he's kind of listing his thing. These are the problems. These are supplies I need. A DS they think is dump site. Over here, TI, Megan, small is good. These are on his computer, so I don't know how you're ever going to get out of this one. Organized versus disorganized. So these are the things he's taking. So he's a scholar. He follows these things like us. He's been in people's, I guarantee you, he's been in chats. He's been in YouTube lives, maybe for other cases, maybe for this case. I could actually almost guarantee you probably for this case, and almost probably guarantee you for other cases too. So here's a map of some of the girls, year by disappearance, and where they are later found. So we got 1993, as you see, 1993. When they disappeared. Now, from 1993 to 2000, for 7 years, I don't think that he was not doing anything. So where are those girls at? What happened then? And then as you see, this is when they disappeared. When they disappeared, and they're all recently found here after 2010 in the different places. Whoops, kicked out of there a little quick. The different places that they were found. Yep. Coming on here in a second. Heuermann, there's just some pictures of him. This is a work party, someone he worked with. That's a burlap sack. And burlap sacks are another thing about Rex Heuermann that I don't understand, because there's much more effective things to use if you're trying to do forensic countermeasures than burlap. Burlap leaves can leave a lot of DNA, plastics better, things like that. So he had attraction to this burlap. This burlap meant something to him. This is signature, right? He doesn't have to put them in a burlap sack. I think he would find out. We knew he was a bear hunter, avid duck hunter. Maybe his dad took him out there. His dad died young. Maybe there was memories. Something happened out there in this burlap, in the way that he puts the body in the burlap, things like that. Now, there was other things. There was plastic. There was Rubbermaid containers. Remember, people changed. They could change their things like that. But for a while, it was burlap. And there was just something about it. But he probably kind of, wised up on it at some point and started to get better. Heuermann in high school. I threw a couple funny things in here too, because I think we needed them. So if you remember this little tune called Shamalama Ding Dong, Hit It, if anyone can remember that. I have one other group of pictures here to show you. And I put a funny picture in that too. Because I'm like looking at all this stuff. I'm like, Jesus Christ, is this fucking shit depressing? Holy shit. Look at this. So you're looking at this, looking at that. So I threw a couple funnies. There's Rex with his bulletproof vest on. After his arrest, there is a marker marking one of the girls. I'm pretty sure this was Shannon Gilbert, but I can't say that for 100% sure, where she was discovered at. And remember, Go-Go Beach in this area, this marshland is extremely, extremely tough to navigate. People aren't going to go out in that marshland unless they're very, very comfortable with that area. And obviously, Rex Heuermann was. Here's some shots from the search. They did 2 searches there. They went back and said they found more stuff the second time. Supposedly ransacked the house. There was, calls for they should do this and that to the house. But, they took pictures beforehand too. And a lot of pictures beforehand, it didn't look really great. So this I shared on Facebook today. This is our funny picture. Whether you like Donald Trump or not, I think every house in America should have one of these, because every time we look at it, we're going to laugh, whether we're pro-Trump or anti-Trump. And when it comes to politics, maybe we just need to laugh a little bit more, right? Just a little bit. This is awesome. This is pro-Trump, anti-Trump. Everybody needs one of them in their house. My 2 cents. There's the strip of Go-Go Beach where a lot of the girls were found at. Looks like an absolutely beautiful area. But, at the end of the day, this is going to come out, and this is going to be a truly, truly sick individual. We're going to look at him, I think, like some of the worst Gary Ridgways, Ted Bundy's. I'm just glad he's off the street. If there's anyone in his family that did have anything to do with this, I hope that they would be charged. I guess that's not out of the realm of possibility, but I don't know. I like John Ray and Dr. Bricato's there, right? And like, these people know more than I do, and I'm okay with that. And when they lead me to one way, I want to lean that way. So I have to find something that says these guys are incorrect, because everyone isn't right every time, right? John Douglas, who I say his name 10 times a show, was wrong about Gary Ridgway, who wrote a letter when he was the Green River killer, and said it was him. Douglas said, hey, this isn't the killer, but it happened. So, but at the end of the day, that's going to kind of be my deep dive on old Rex here. Before I go, we'll leave you guys an update for any of you fans from the Hoosier state, if you will. Oh, the Knicks up 50-36 with about 2 minutes left in the first half. So you get off of here, you have time to make some popcorn, get a snack, rip a bowl or two, pop a beer. Hopefully nothing worse than that, but whatever it is that you do, get ready for the second half of that game. You can't count the Pacers out because they play so fast. They have so many possessions, so many shots, as they've showed us in these playoffs. But 3-1 Pacers right now. It's at New York. So if the Knicks win, it's not the end of the world if you're a Pacer fan. I would almost kind of expect the Knicks to win tonight, try to show some fight, at least in front of their home crowd. But I hope everyone maybe learned a little bit tonight. Had some good conversation. Good luck, Ron. Okay, Ron, you're good. Best wishes to you. Take your time. Brewers. Miranda, hopefully hitting bingo. My Pirates, ever since the Brewers came in our division, even with a year or two, our teams were decent. We with the Brewers have always owned us. So you got a great team. You got Chorio. You got some guys that can go. You have some pretty good pitching, and you got some youth. I wasn't able to get any Brewers in my fantasy team this year. I mean, Chorio went earlier than I wanted to take him, but now he probably went too late. But anyways, I thank everybody for coming in. I will share. Give me a few. I'll share that John Ray press conference. It's pretty long, but if you want to watch it, it's interesting. Maybe let me know what you think. Drop a comment in there and say whatever. If you're watching this later and have any questions, throw them in. We're getting there. I'm gonna have to give you a tour of the house one day. We got stuff painted in white and black. She picked black ceilings, and I'm like, black ceilings. It looks really cool. But I'll do a whole tour. Maybe members only. We'll do a tour. Let's see. Brooke will be here Monday for a little. We'll see. Yeah, that'd be cool. She could show you all her plants. Would you guys be into that? We have all kind of vegetables and stuff outside. So, but that's it. But I'm working hard on local stuff. Coach Kev for the kids is always trying to get shit figured out as best we can. Sides are at odds, pretty far apart, but hey, it all seems impossible till it's done, right? Nelson Mandela said that. So, but look for that. Look for me to put up a poll, see what you want to do for a members only early next week, and we'll get to it. I'm going to have a fun weekend. I hope you all have a fun weekend. Take care. Hopefully the weather's good for you. And going to leave you to it with my peach oolong tea, Market District, from a store called Giant Eagle. Or from anyone else other than a Pittsburgh person, it's called Giant Eagle. But we spell it with an I here. So, all right. Check out the Heuermann stuff for yourself. I'll be doing more on it. Any suggestions on any other cases you want to cover, things or talk about. I have some local things I have planned too. So in Florida, always Florida, right? We'll always work on that. I probably answer an email a week from someone from Florida. People I know, people I don't know. But if I have information and they want it, I'll give it to them. So, all right, everybody. No tea from the cart. Not for a while, Jinx. This tea's a lot better for you. So Brooke kind of got me off of that. She makes homemade tea, and she doesn't like sugar in hers. There it is, the Flora Ford channel. If I ever come to Indiana again, I will bring in more boxes of tea, though. I promise. That was a hit. All right, everyone. Have a great Thursday night. Have a great weekend. Be safe. And I'll be posting some stuff here, so check it out. And we will see you all soon. I love you all, right? I already have my drink. And now I could say, Coach Kev,